ears are spinach of it. There's spaghetti models and empty rum bottles, and sometimes Louis says hi. Hey, Louis. But you don't get no hurries and don't have no worries, cause we're drunk donkey nationwide. Everybody now. Finds where the page. You know he'll be tracking every move that makes. You know it's finds where the page. You know he won't let us all get blown away. Did I ever tell you the story of the drunk donkey? Once upon a time, there was this weather woman. You can come as a pilot, you stay kind of quiet, but you know you love watching mice playing. So put your bonehead shirt on, watch it live on your phone, and drink drunk donkey beer all day. Here we go now. Mike's where the page. You know he'll be tracking every move that makes. You know it's Mike's where the page. You know he won't let us all get blown away.
All right, what's up, everybody? Perfect Friday song, hopefully, if it's your Friday. Classic MWP tune from our good buddy Andy Simmons up in Perry, Florida. Shout out to my good friend. He wrote a song about hurricanes, and then the hurricanes came to him. So maybe he might not be writing us any more songs, because they all followed him. What is up? All right, let's talk some weather. We got a little bit of weather to talk about. We do. I'm going to talk a little bit about hurricane season. I'm going to say hello for a little bit. This is Louie. Sometimes Louie says hi. It won't be long. We'll be talking a lot about weather, and it's probably our 95% of our watchers are coastal folks, especially down in Florida and the Caribbean and along the upper Gulf and Western Gulf and Atlantic. But since weather's a little quiet, there's no interest in the Daily Brew. But I am going to say hello to my good friends that are here. We got Miss Shelly Ross on the other coast there. Shelly's been helping us out all the way back during Hurricane Matthew in 2016. Almost 10 years. Technically, it's 10 years. 2025. No. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So, Shelly, it could be your 10-year anniversary. Richard Reimer. What's up, buddy? James over there, too, my softball crew. Hey, Emily had a really good game yesterday. God, I wish you all could have seen it. No home runs. She only had 3 earned runs in 7 innings. Team had a couple errors. We lost by 1 run. Without the errors, we would have won 7-3. She only had 3 walks, so she did good. Proud of her. She had 2 walks in a row that ended up scoring. 3 of the earned runs were on her, obviously, because of the 2 walks. But, hey, it was a good day. Anyway, what's up, Loretta Reed? It's quiet, yep. Steve from St. Augustine. I love St. Augustine. Was up there for the Florida Man games a couple years ago. Camped out there, too. Around the reef, the north side of the island. Joanna Collins, good morning. Tom, hey, a new name over there. Are you new, Tom? We got new brew crewers over there. Hey, Neil, what's up, buddy? It's going to be hot and dry, Lori. Yep. All right, we'll see you next week. Oh, man. Oh, we got some new brew crew. Awesome. All right. Got my Tampa Bay hat on. We got our friend Allison hooked us up with some tickets. She works at the Rays, and we're going to go to the Yankees tonight. She works at the Rays. She says the only stipulation to tickets is you can't wear the opponent's team. I'm like, what do you think I am? I'm a Rays fan. We've even had Louie at the games before, right, buddy? Oh, let's a couple more hellos. We'll get into the weather. I am going to talk hurricanes at the end, so stick around. We're going to talk about it. We got a new forecast that just came out yesterday. Two, actually. I don't have the one up. North Carolina. I don't know how accurate they are, but North Carolina weather station did their forecast. I got the Weather Channel's forecast up, though. We're going to talk about that one since we've had a few now. Gus, good morning. Oh, thanks. Yeah, we had a great interview with Will from WeatherStem. You can go back and watch it, talking about what they offer. We'll do that again. Anne Marie, thank you. Good morning. Anybody else getting cut out, Lori? I don't know. Hope not. Shouldn't be. Maybe. Anyway, Valerie, good morning. All right, well, let's get into it. Weather in a nutshell. Jay's going to the Capitol. What you doing up there, Jay? Which capital? Tallahassee or Washington? Or what state? I assumed you're Florida. I don't know. Morning, Mr. Steve, Gulfport, Mississippi. Man, I'll never forget one time I was talking about storms coming to Louisiana and Alabama, and I was guilty. I forgot to mention Mississippi, and for some reason, everybody forgets Mississippi. So now I make a point to talk about Mississippi. And not forget y'all. Now everybody's saying, you're talking about Mississippi too much. All right, let me get a screenshot for Louie here, and then we'll talk about the weather. What do I have up here? Let's see. I think I have a radar map up. Let's see. What do I have up here? Maybe this one right here. There it is. Okay. Louie and I need to make a screenshot for thumbnails. All right, Louie. All right, look over here, Louie. Over here. We're going to look like we're looking at the radar. Look up. I'm going to point. Okay. That's satellite, by the way. Oh, man, we're getting spammed over on YouTube again. Jeez. Oh, man. All right. So, what do we have here? We got a front line that passed all the way down through the Turks, Hispaniola. It's all the way down by Puerto Rico now. It's nearing the Virgin Islands. Believe it or not, we could get a little spinach with this little system. We're going to talk about that. Bermuda's not obviously in its way anymore, harmlessly out there in the Atlantic. So we're going to get into all that. Kirk, thank you, buddy. Yeah, he's a good dog. We love him. We love him. All right, so Florida folks, don't forget our great supporters here, ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. 6 years now they've been supporting Mike's weather page. We really appreciate it. They do a lot for us and our family. They do a lot for the community. Y'all saw that big celebrity poker tournament I was at. They raised crazy money, like hundreds of thousands of dollars or something. I don't even know. It was incredible. They support a lot of schooling in the middle part of the state, UCP. So we really love them. Thank you for your support. So if you got a choice of where to go to get your adult candy store, there you go. Today is National Lineman Appreciation Day. How about that? We have a lot of friends in the lineman world. And didn't really understand that whole industry when I first started this. Didn't really know. Honestly, I've learned so much in weather over the years. I'll admit it. I've didn't really know much. I still don't know much. Ask all of my critics. But I know more than I did back then. Since then, I've really become friends with so many linemen. One of our great supporters is Tammy and all the crew from OSR. And I'll be heading out there doing a nice presentation, I think, in Kansas City here in a couple weeks for OSR. So big thanks. Tammy just had a birthday. Hello to the OSR family. They're first damage assessors on the ground that actually are the ones that point all the linemen where to go. So when there's a storm and we have a lot of power problems and trees down and, you know, things are like, what do we do next? Right? You got a chaos, you got destruction everywhere. Nobody even knows where to start. When they come in, they go out, they damage assess everything, and they build the game plan for the main linemen that come in. And very important part of the process to get power back on quick. So there you go. Man, how Shelly, what is going on over on YouTube? We should. Oh, I gotta put that filter back. That's the problem. Damn it. All right. Your last day to spam us. I don't think I can change the filter while we're live, but oh well. All right, so there's that. Happy Lineman Appreciation Day for y'all out there. There's a radar. Let's talk about that hit. This is fascinating. I love the windy map. This is so cool. The Bermuda high pressure. If we fast forward to Saturday, it's parked right over Bermuda. Imagine that. So this big old high pressure area is clockwise flow. This is what controls the tropics a lot too, believe it or not. But this is a big heat builder. This is what's happening right now, spinning clockwise. And we have cooler East Coast winds all the way Virginia, all the way down to Florida, down to Bahamas. We have a lot of strong winds wrapping around this high pressure system. It makes it extremely warm here because these Atlantic winds are cool, but then they warm up over land. So that's why the west part of the Florida Peninsula is very warm. We also get a little cooler temperatures on the upper Gulf because these winds are being cooled down by the Gulf. We get a lot of windy conditions. So when that strong pressure or high pressure is in place, we get a little more winds on the coastal areas and a lot more heat. And it actually acts like a big shield. And guess what? All these storms are concentrated across Texas northeastward. And that's what we're in. We're in a repeat pattern for several days again because of this big old high pressure. So fascinating stuff. Now, we're going to get into hurricane season. Just remember this. Wherever this H is, we're going to talk about it here at the end of my little video to talk about how the Bermuda High affects landfall or impacts in the Caribbean and westward. All right, there's your, oh man, I went right by it. Double click. All right, let's go back. Remember whammy? I was like, double click. All right, let's go back to rain map. Here's your rain map. There's all the rain in the next 5 days. Let's do 7 days. 7 days. This is unheard of. This is your rainfall for the next 7 days. What's up, Teresa? Morning, Rachel. Morning, Bobby. What's up, Alan? OSR, Melinda Woods. Yay. Oh, OST is one source restoration. Right here. There you go. One source restoration. Okay, let's get back to the rain. This is crazy. All right, there's nothing for the south, nothing for the east, nothing for Florida. This is heavy rain across the middle part of the U.S. again. A little bit more west of the Mississippi this time around. But that's it. There's 5 day. Here's your flood map, unfortunately, for tomorrow. This whole general area. It's going to see a lot of rain over the course of several days. This is tomorrow's flood maps. So, yeah, anytime you get red, I'll look at some isolated area. We really don't cover this area too much, but it's going to be a lot of rain. We had some tornadoes last night. Anybody watch the tornado chasers? I think Reed was chasing a good one in Iowa somewhere. But that's the heavy rain coming up. Drought indexes come out on Thursdays. Just to kind of give everybody, what's happening out west. Obviously, they have fires out west. Middle part of the U.S. across Mississippi, not a drought. We see that. The Carolinas are still a little bit eastern parts, South Carolina, but the big story, I guess, was Florida coming out now that we have red down in the Okeechobee area. So we've had an updated drought map. So yeah, it's dry down there in the Everglades, South Florida, and with the 10-day rain forecast ahead, there's not much for the next 10 days. So this kind of normal, maybe not so much normal. Obviously, it's not our rainy season here, but 10 days ahead we got nothing, so we got to watch that for fires. I do have a wildfire potential map on the bottom of the page over here. Wildfire sounds like a Jimi Hendrix song. Wildfire. There's your April outlook. Obviously, all those areas that are in drought, wildfire outlooks are increased. And we can look ahead too if you want to. But they have maps here, fire outlook. If you want to look at the month of May. Here's May. Still expected to be dry. And June. Then we get a break. So the next few months here could be trouble watching for fires. So we'll see about that. But there's the updated one. Storms today. The new storm prediction center map just came out. We'll take a look at all these here in a second. Good morning, V Flood. How's Spring Hill doing? Connor was chasing Robin. Yes. I think Connor was the one that had some footage I saw. Morning, Bonnie. How's Jacksonville area doing? Very windy in Gulfport. Good report, Steve. Iowa, Nebraska. I saw the hail. Debbie, that'd be a good hurricane special. The indoor fog relief area. Was that my humidifier? Or it was moisturizer. Felice, good morning. Bobby, what's cooking? New day, yeah, Tallahassee. I posted on that. It was a rough day watching all that news yesterday. We have so many friends that have, kids up there, and watching Dennis, my buddy. Just the chaos, the traumatic experience. Emily's a good friend that she went out with last night told Emily all about it, and it's very, very sad day. So Tallahassee's kind of become a home to me. I've been up there so many times chasing storms. I do so much at the Capitol now with FDEM, and then of course the snow trip was the most magical couple days I've ever done chasing storms and meeting so many kids up there. So it was a tough day for me. All right, so here's your Storm Prediction Center outlook for the next several days. I love questions. Do southerly winds warm the Gulf? The southerly winds help pull up the high pressure more than anything warms the Gulf. Now Tropical Tidbits has 7-day maps. Okay, we still got a little coolness, but the big difference is the actual anomaly map here is becoming warmer and warmer and warmer. This is your overall anomaly maps. If you remember, we had a lot of blue here across the middle to eastern part of the Gulf, and now it's red. Meaning the water temperatures are above. So, we get a locked-in high pressure. It's going to be in the 90s. That warms up the water. The water's shallower in the Gulf there. But then we also have the Gulf Stream that really pumps up all that hot water. And this is a big part of, I think, our hurricanes being so powerful the last several years is this Gulf Stream has been really pushing in a lot of warm water from the Caribbean. It started back with Harvey in 2016. We saw that loop eddy spinning. But, it's just warm. And you can't deny it. Water, just compared to the last few years, ocean heat map already showing ocean heat content, deep water, warm, hot water we look at. So the combination of the Gulf Stream and really the strong high pressure calms the winds more than anything, pulls up the water with that Gulf Stream. And here's your anomaly map kind of showing you just where we're at. Okay, I'll keep it on the sea surface temperature. This is let's see, settings, data values, US. So overall, if you look at your anomalies, we're 3, 4. That's a lot. This is a 30-year average. Now, like I always say, I don't know what it was 100 years ago. I don't know what it'll be next year, but this year, water temperatures are above normal a lot. And here's all these little loop eddies spinning, so that wins the battle, and all these little loop currents just continually warm the waters up there. Now you can argue, look at the Pacific; it's cooler than normal, so it's not hot everywhere. This is La Nina setting in a neutral. Well, we're not in La Nina now, but still, the waters are cooler in the Pacific than they are in the Atlantic. For some reason, hotter, cooler. So, hotter water, more storms. Just the way it goes. All right. Storms today. Here you go. Texas all the way to the Great Lakes. There's that stormy pattern. Tornadoes are focused mainly in Oklahoma, a little bit of Texas there in the brown. 2% though, you can still get an isolated tornado, so keep your eyes and ears open. Texas to the Great Lakes today, Friday. Hail, big hail. We had a big hail yesterday in Nebraska. Oh my gosh, it's that softball size, I think I read, or baseball size, ball size. But there's your hail on Texas and Oklahoma today, Friday. Saturday, tomorrow, another stretch of storms, Texas northeastward all the way to Texas. Tomorrow, Saturday, a little bit of tornado chance tomorrow in Texas. And then on for hail, Texas, same area as today. This is tomorrow. Sunday, there's your storms again, more closer on in the Mississippi there. This is storms for Sunday. And then after that, it's a break again. So we'll see what happens there. So let's talk about the hurricane season. Rivers back to normal, Bobby? No, they're going to, no. The Baton Rouge River's not going to crest until the 24th. It's a good question, though. This is all from that rain that was over a week ago. I think we still got about 7 or 8 major rivers in flood zone. Let's see. 7, 8. We have 8. Let's show you what's going on here. Let's just show major and moderate flood stages, because every the other ones are a little hard to see. But here's where we're at. Forecast. Let me go to forecast. There we go. All right. This is pretty much where we're at right now. Let me scroll down a little bit for you. I forget how to do this. There we go. Okay. There's the rivers that are purple. The purple ones are major flood, and of course Baton Rouge is not going to peak until the 24th, I believe, and it's still expected to be. Man, they get these forecasts incredible. It's been showing 40.5 feet now for a week, and it's still going to crest around the 24th, 25th. So. Yeah, water's making its way down. We still got a couple more here in Arkansas. White River, let's see what this one's at. This is just west of Memphis. It's coming down. Another river west of Memphis, I'm sure, is kind of just hanging out there. 41.8, right at floods, or 36.1. Just at flood stage. River north of Mississippi north of Memphis, pretty much peaking today. 37. This is at Osceola. So the water's coming down. What's up, Chris? All right, so this came out today. Let's talk about the hurricane season. Then I gotta go play with my truck. I got a new floodlight on the roof. I'm happy about it. I got a new fog light in the front. Putting in my storm switch today. Gonna be dremeling out my dash. Oh, got it. Scares the heck out of me. So this is interesting. Chris, you're a car guy. I'm a car guy. Joanne's in Panama City. Dry summer. Doubtful. It'll be normal. We just got to get to May. It's always dry in April. So I had a switch. I had a 3 wire switch to go into my powered switch to turn on one of my floodlights. Well, guess what? One of the 3 wires was broken. Of all the things, the stupid switch, the plug had a wire missing. So the red power lead was not connecting to the switch. But I checked the power going to this, and it was there. So I just assumed the switch was okay. It was this. So happiness is finding crap like that. All right, so I showed you the Colorado State University forecast, was it a week ago? It was above normal as expected. Basically comes down to being in neutral La Nina in the water temperatures, basically. Those are really the only factors this time of year you can look at. So the Weather Channel came out with one. They put a lot of time in it, they're calling for 19 storms, 9 hurricanes, 4 major hurricanes. All right, so average is 14, 7, and 3. So they're calling for an average, above average season also. So, and I agree with it. Now, what does that mean? All right, let's show you a couple things. So, we are expected to be in, I'm giving you all a sneak peek at some of my secret slides that nobody else sees. All right, so we're expected to be in neutral La Nina. When we're in La Nina blue, we have a cooler section of the Atlantic, which creates less wind shear, less subtropical style jet stream, basically, allowing storms to brew more across the Caribbean and Western Atlantic when we're in a La Nina pattern, okay? Cooler waters in the Atlantic, which we just showed you. When we're in an El Nino pattern, it's warmer in the Pacific, which creates a lot of wind shear, a subtropical jet, basically. We have a lot of wind shear, and usually during El Nino years, we have less storms, okay? So Jesse says it best, it only takes one. Right. So what I'm going to show you here are some crazy facts about El Nino, okay, especially in Florida. 2004 was an El Nino year. We still had a very busy year, if you recall, right? 17 was a La Nina year. We had a long track storm called Irma. We all remember that one. Long track storm that came through that Caribbean, curved up. So it's benefited from lack of wind shear in the Caribbean. Irma obviously curved up around Cuba there. Now 18 was a El Nino year, which we should have had less storms. The talking point that year was less storms. Everybody says, woohoo, less storms. Guess what? We still had Michael and Florence. You just never know. 23, I always compare 23, was a El Nino year. But guess what? 23 was the 4th most active year we've ever had. 20 storms. However, El Nino, I'm going to show you more fish storms that year, and we had Idalia. So again, it only takes one. What does all this mean? Well, here you go. So, 24 was a La Nina year, which basically neutral La Nina year last year. Last year is almost going to be the same as this year, okay? This is what we see when we have a neutral La Nina year. Okay, we have a lot more activity, it seems like, in the Caribbean and Gulf and Western Atlantic. We have less activity in the Middle Atlantic. We have a stronger Bermuda high. Going back to the first thing I showed was the Bermuda high. Seems like the years that we have neutral La Nina, we have a stronger Bermuda high, allowing storms to grow, form, or motion more to the west. We have a little bit more activity in this general area down here. 2020, I show this a lot, but it was a La Nina year also. Look, we had a tremendous, this was a record year with storm names, tons of activity in the Caribbean, tons of activity in the Gulf. In relation to the Middle Atlantic, we had less activity. Again, it all comes down to the Bermuda high. It seems like the years that we have La Nina or neutral, we have more activity around this Bermuda high. That happened last year. It happened in 2020. Now, 18 was El Nino year. The talking points was, hey, El Nino year, we're not going to have a lot of storms. We had Florence and Michael that year. Nobody cared how many named storms we had that year if you were affected by Michael or Florence. So, but you can see less activity in the Caribbean when we had an El Nino year, which was fascinating. More activity in the Gulf or in the Middle Atlantic, more activity. So we can't get so wrapped up in El Nino, La Nina storm names. Okay, that's my point. 23 last year, similar, or 2 years ago, I told people the start of 23. I said, okay, 23. I would love to find that video, but I said if we were to see a system, I would be more worried about something in the Caribbean Yucatan Gap forming like Michael did. It's going to avoid this wind shear, and it did, and the Delia figured out a way. But notice all the activity in the open Gulf. But we had 20 storms that year. So, number one question I get, hey, is it going to be an active year? Is it going to be an active year? I think the questions we need to ask are, where are the impact zones this year? Because we could have a year like 2023 and have more storms in 23 than we did last year. But last year, huge impact of storms, right? But we had less storms in 24 than we did in 23. So I think everybody gets so wrapped up in how many storms are we going to have this year? Well, we could have a year like 23. And really the only storm really that anybody remembers was Idalia. Everybody told me it was a bust season. But we had more storms in 24. So it's not about the storm names. It's about, where they're going to go. Milton merged with a wave from a crossover from a Pacific and got going in the Western Gulf. So when those water temperatures are hot and we have 30-year anomalies for a reason. Hot water, lack of wind shear. There you go. It only takes one. Then I show this slide, 1983. It was a La Nina year. Should have been a lot of storms. We had 4 storms that year. So you don't know what Mother Nature is going to do. That should have been a very active year. Now the waters were a little cooler that year. Yes, they were. But still, we still had one. Alicia was a major hurricane that hit Texas. So that's it. But in my slide, I want to show you one of these slides one day. I talk about it all the time. I have like a 55 slide presentation that I do that I really enjoy doing. So, it only takes one. We do have cooling in the MDR Atlantic, Indiana. We do in the main development region, but my opinion on the main development region is, who cares, honestly? It just seems like homegrown systems in the Western Caribbean. Here's monthly anomalies. It's warming up fast. I don't know, maybe off of Africa, but the media puts a lot of emphasis on Africa and Cape Verde seasons, main development region. But our main development, to me, is more homegrown. Look at Michael, tropical storm off the Yucatan. Idalia, tropical storm off the Yucatan. Ida, Helene, Milton came across from the Pacific. So I really think, my opinion is we really shouldn't, Beryl last year came across in July and affected the Lesser Antilles, obviously. But yeah, it is cool over here. But this to me is where we got to worry about. Homegrown action, rapid intensification, and this brews rain too. Warmer waters, we get those massive flooding events that we're seeing more. Last year to me was the year of flooding. I mean, we had more inland floods from Helene, Milton, Debbie. That was the story last year to me, was the non-coastal impacts. They were bad enough, but yeah, Indiana, good question. How much will the Gulf warm? I'll tell you what, it's warming quick. I just changed the graphic. I'm working on a presentation for next week, and the 7-day or the anomaly map for the Gulf is already warmer than it was last week. So the shallow shelf here, the half of the Gulf, it warms so quick, so quick. And we don't have rain to cool the waters off either, so this time of year it really gets hot. And I'm telling you, a lot of it's just Gulf Stream. The farther up it goes, I remember we were tracking Ida a few years ago, and Ida had a very long loop current that year. And this, we got a loop eddy now, which is rare. The year of Ida, we had a long loop current like that. Now, when this loop eddy breaks off, it'll start to drift a little bit, and then more likely this one will go here, but then we'll have a new loop current forming. So that'll be something to watch May and June, is what this new loop current does once this eddy breaks off. But that's a pretty significant loop eddy right there. And like I was saying, temperature-wise, satellite-wise, I don't know if we have any buoys out there. Let's take a looky here. Buoy. Let's see. I know we have some down. But there should be one smack dab over that loop current. Let's see. This is a cool map showing you that shelf too, though. This is the shallow. This is where Florida used to be. Look at that shelf. Let's see here. We got temperature. Oh, let's see. Air temp, water temp, 74.8. It's not that warm yet. This one doesn't have water temp. We just don't really have a lot of water temps out there. Kind of have to go off satellite. But let's take a look at satellite since we're looking at it. Go back to this map. So let's looky at basic sea surface temperatures. I know I say the same thing. We got to look at you need to look more at ocean heat content, but we can still see what I'm trying to talk about looking at this. So these are sea surface temperatures. Remember, it's really more important to how hot the water is below the surface, but still, sea surface temperatures kind of put it in perspective too. 81. We're getting 80s along the Fort Myers coastline, but here's these loop currents. Look at 81, 81, 81, 81, 81, 81, 88, 81, 8. This is where we're watching. Here's these little loop currents spinning out here, almost reaching 80. So, we got 80, 81. And the Caribbean is hot. It's all 82 now. 83. Only takes 80 degrees for tropics. So, we'll just have to see. Long-range modeling. Tropical Tidbits has a lot of good long-range modeling here if you want to look at, what they're predicting. So forecast models, climate. Let's go to SIPs. Look at just look at, I guess, Western Atlantic. And then we can look at sea surface temperature anomalies. So basically all the way through, here's June, July. I mean, these are, 1-2 degrees above there. I mean, basically, this is August. This is water temperature anomalies. Now, notice Pacific's colder than normal. It's just we're going to be warmer than normal on our side. And then October. And the CFS monthly, basically the same. There's June, July. A little more normal temperatures, August, September, October. The precipitation models, I don't know. We use these all the time. It's hard to tell. I don't know how accurate, but they are showing a little bit less, with the CFS and the SIPs and so when you get to two long range modeling showing you completely opposite anomalies for September and October, we just go down the middle and say average. So, to me, the biggest factors at this point is the water temps and the fact that we're going to have a little less wind shear. That's all. I mean, that's where we're at now. Shear anomaly maps. When did we get the last one? They didn't run the last one since April 1st. Huh. Well, let's see here. If we get this one here, upper dynamics, shear anomaly, 3-month averages, June, July, August. This is a little less. So let's say the month of August, September, October. This is a shear anomaly map, basically 200 all the way down to 850. But, this is lower than average wind shear. So these numbers are showing you below normal a little bit wind shear for August, September, October. So those are pretty much it. Water temperature, shear, and next thing you know, tropical waves. I mean, you could look towards Africa. A lot of tropical waves, you really can't do any long range Saharan air layer maps yet. It's going to be very strong in April, May, June, and July with Saharan air layer. So then it just comes down to the seed that we need, and sometimes they're waves that come across the Atlantic. Sometimes they're an old frontal line. Sometimes they come across the Pacific. Do we have an Africa map here in Northern Africa? We can look at precipitation anomalies. So, there's August, CFS showing higher rain coming off south of the Cape Verde Islands. So, anything around 10 degrees northward is generally safe to say it's got a chance to be a tropical wave that merges with the intertropics convergence zone, spins into a little something something. So, your CFS model showing long range August, then September, a little about normal, not too bad. And we don't care. October, forget about it. So really, August, September are the Cape Verde style months. The SITS model showing the same for August and September. So a lot of folks predict, we look at Africa for waves that come across in August, September. Last year we had July with Beryl. That was a rare one, but it was record. Beryl was a record last year. Beryl was the earliest Cat 5 that far east. So bottom line, let's not, don't worry about how many names. It only takes one. The season looks busier than a non-busy season. Where they go, nobody can predict, but that's what we got. So have a good day there, Joanna Collins. Thank you. James, what's up? Say hey to Karen. Have a good time at the game? Yes. I'm excited about the game tonight. Julie's going, and the girls. So, yay for that. Have a great Easter. Yes. Thank you, Loretta Reed. It is Easter weekend. So, yes, wonderful Easter, everybody. All the kids. It should be a decent day. Let's look at Sunday. Look at the Sunday rain map. I don't think we're going to see much other than there's storms, unfortunately, for some. But let's look at the Sunday rain. And here you go. So there's that. There's these storms we're going to be worried about across Mississippi area Sunday. But there's your Sunday rain map. So other than a little bit of Texas, Louisiana there, Houston northward, we got almost nothing across the East Coast. So it'll be a pretty decent day for most on Sunday. Remember, storm-wise on Sunday, though, we got to worry about here. Just area just east of the Mississippi on the Easter Sunday. And we'll see what that brings with that. We can zoom in a little closer to that, I reckon, real quick. I reckon race cars. And let's get it going. Come on. There we go. All right. There is Sunday. Boom, right there. So there's our big low pressure with big rains, but then there's our tail end of that low pressure on Sunday, bringing storms just east of the Mississippi, Sunday evening, Sunday night. So really Sunday morning is about right there, Texas, northward. So the area is going to get the storms on Easter. Is going to be more Easter night. And there's our low lifting. Let's look at the long-range tropics real quick. I should have, because we talked about it earlier. So there's that little area. Let's see if we got any Euro probability color on that area. Oh, we do. I can't believe it. But not a lot, obviously. But that's the first time I've seen it, really. That little blob that was by Hispaniola might have a chance to pop east of Bermuda and then pop back down again next week. Nothing to worry about, but just it'd be something to kind of watch. The Pacific definitely always ends up getting going before the Atlantic. But look, we're getting into end of April. We're starting to see signs of the Pacific heating up. Usually the Pacific starts before the Atlantic by a couple of weeks, usually. Which is weirder, right? Because the waters are cooler over there. There's some spaghetti models if you like spaghetti. There's our little system kind of going back southbound again. Kind of odd. It would be weird, but a little low. And what we're talking about is this area right here. This little spot right here could get a little spin. There's Bermuda. So here's Bermuda. There's our spot right there. I bet you we see a little spin on the windy map. There it is. That's their little frontal convergence zone there. So sometimes what happens is these winds come down from the top, they come down from the bottom. Guess what? They start spinning, and we get a little low pressure area, and then that's what we got. There's a little one right here. A lot of wind shear though, but still something to talk about. Let's see a couple more. I want to show, where are we? Right here. Okay, so we got a little bit of European spaghetti. Let's look at some GFS spaghetti. GFS was showing this before the Euro. I always track storms this time of year to see who's doing good this year or not. Here is the GFS ensembles showing nothing. So we'll see if it comes back. But again, we're talking about something that's nothing to worry about. It's just tropical talk. That's all. Teaser blobs, that's right. 87 in Nashville, Mark. Oh my God. Have you ever been to Morgan Wallen's new place? Look like rabbits, Teresa. I didn't see that. See you, Richard. Goodbye, buddy. Have a good weekend. The worst Easter candy? Peeps. I didn't like jelly beans, especially the black one. Or the one that was like, I think it was the black ones. They were kind of like licorice. I don't like licorice. Or the yellow Peeps. Ugh, it's like pure sugar. Ugh, I do love Cadbury eggs though. I could, oh man, I could just, oh God, I've had my share of those. Now you try to get older and now you have memories of what they tasted like, thank God. Because I don't eat them anymore. But I know what they taste like. So I pretend I'm eating a Cadbury egg. Dale, I don't even know about tailgating yet, man. I'm so confused what's going on. Are you going tonight, Dale? Are you going, Dale? We'll hook up, man. Look me up. We'll have a beer. They have cool fireworks. They weren't able to do that. Well, they did at the end at the Rays Stadium. They'd actually had some indoor fireworks. It was kind of neat. Shelly, yeah. I do got to go out there and work a little bit, so. No, I'm talking about the game on Friday. Tonight. You have church today? No, I won't, Bob. But Julie's driving. So. Hey, Mark Trozzo, thank you, buddy. Well, hey, listen, we really appreciate everybody for tuning in. Remember, if you want to be a bigger part of the MWP weather community, subscribe here through the website, MWP Brew Crew right there, and you get a lot of perks and help support what we do here big time. So appreciate that. Subscribe. Shelly will send you an email how to join the MWPchat.com, and you'll have your own private little weather chat area that's not connected to any social. So if you don't like social media, then there you go. You can follow along with me, and we have a special Ask Mike section that I love to respond to. Ask Mike. We have a Brew Crew chat area. We have a Mike's post. You never miss a Mike's post on MWPchat.com, so you can always see everything that I post. And we have a place to watch the Daily Brew. You can go back and watch it. It's recorded. And we even have an MWP cruise area for our cruisers. If you are joined on our cruise, make sure you join the MWP cruise section on MWP chat. Reach out to Shelly for that. So, anyway. All right, we'll be back live on Monday. Have a great Easter, everybody. We got truck today, raise tonight, boat tomorrow, Sunday dinner with Dad at Cody's for Easter. That's our weekend plans. So you have a great weekend too. And we'll see you on Monday.